Ho ho ho, welcome back to the channel jicolourist. My name is Jody and this is the Festive Coloring WIP series where we are counting our way down to Christmas and we are coloring 2 pages a week. Today is day 21 and that is, let me just find the page. Perfect Place, Cat Hotel. And when you take a look at this page, this is actually a cat outline, and it looks like an awfully fun page to color. Over here, it kind of reminded me a bit about Dr. Seuss, but this is actually the cat's tail, and then this is the cat's body. The head is 2 little ears. There is lots of illustrations around here to color, so this is going to be a busy page. I have decided to pull out 2 Sarah Renee Clark Color Cube palettes. One is 168, and that's these colors. And that's because I wanted some lighter colors. I needed some browns and some greens. And then this one, which is 183, which has got a little bit more brown and a brighter green in it. So between these 2 colors, I think that they go well together, and I plan on using water-based markers this time. So because I'm going to use water-based markers, I already know I will not be using any kind of dragonfly glaze on top of this or such things. So the markers that I'm going to use are the Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen. I have a bunch of Zig Clean Color markers that I've pulled out. I've also got some pigment pens in the Faber-Castell and the Staedtler. So the pigment pens are water safe, but the Zig are definitely not. So now that I know that, and I did want to actually show you the page where I smeared. So here is the day 19, the wreath, and here is what happens when you apply dragonfly glaze or a wet medium on top of a water-based marker or fine liner, and it activated it and it started to smear. So then I immediately kind of stopped, but we've got some smears over here and some smears down here. So I was quite devastated when that happened, and I tried to fix it, but that's what happens if you put a wet medium on top of a water-based medium. It will activate it. So I just wanted to point that out and clarify that. So let's get down to this. I'm going to go ahead, and I want the cat part to stand out. So I think I'm going to do that in the darkest brown color. And so that is going to be... I had a few ideas for the background. I tried some Graphitint grays to see if that would look good. It didn't really appeal to me, so then I pulled out the 2 grays. One is a Cool Gray Light from Staedtler, and the other is a Kiritaki Cool Gray 2. So those are these colors here, and the Cool Gray 2 is actually lighter than the Staedtler, so that's the one I'm going to do the background in, and then I'll do the cat with a darker brown. So that's the intent. I will go ahead and quickly just do the background because that's not interesting, and I'll come back and we'll do some other stuff together. All right, see you shortly. All right, here we are, and the background is done. I've got some paper behind for cushioning. I just wanted to let you know, and we'll talk about the zigs a little bit more, but in case you weren't aware, they're actually bristles. So if I push hard, you'll see that they actually spread. So they're nylon bristles, and it's not a felt tip. So it actually has a lot of flow and movement, and it's easy to get around tiny little spots. Now, I wasn't super careful in case, getting around all those spots, because I am going to be coloring all of those, but it was pretty easy. So now I have done the whole background, and that again is in... And this is the Kiritaki number 91 Cool Gray 2. And now I am using some Polychromos Cool Grays, and I'm coming in and I'm adding some shadow underneath. and around here, and just give everything a little bit more dimension. So I'll lower the camera and you can see me do a little bit of that, because that's something that I don't show you very often, is at the end I go and tidy up. Okay, so I'm working over here right now and make sure that my paper is snug behind there. And I want to add some shading along here because I want the cat's tail to elevate off the paper. So I'm using Cool Gray 4. And I'm just going to come and go right close to the edge and make sure that there's no white of the paper showing. And then I'll shade with the Cool Gray 3. If I need to, I can come in with the Cool Gray 1, because this is such a tight little area. I want there to be some definite difference. The zig is not super streaky, but there definitely are some streaks, but that's okay. Not too worried about that. But as you can see already, the difference. So now I'll do some on the outside. This book is so large, it's having to move it around. Just using the lightest gray to kind of smooth out any blotchiness if it's a real problem, but so far I think it's been going pretty good. So if this area right here is a little blotchy, if that bothers you, just take your lightest gray and just blend that out a bit. Okay, I'm going to continue on doing that around the whole tail area, and I'll also do some around here to make this stand out. And then we'll move on to something else. Hope everyone is having a good week. We are truly into December now, and really looking forward to having this project completed. I'm excited. I can see kind of the end of the tunnel. So yeah, how's everybody else doing with their coloring? Are you seeing some progress? Are you getting done what you want to get done? I don't anticipate many will have finished as many pages. I'm sure everybody is busy working and getting other items done. I do work from home, and but I only work part-time, so I am able to devote quite a bit of time to my coloring hobby. Okay, see you shortly. Okay, here's how the cat is looking with just some basic shading around it. I think that the cat stands out a bit more, so I'm happy about that. I'm now going to go and take some brown, and I'm just gonna test out which brown I want. That one's kind of a ready brown. Okay, this is the darker brown. I'm going to use the darker brown, and it's kind of gonna be the medium. It's probably more like this dark burgundy here, and that's going to be the outside of the cat. So this is a Staedtler pigment pen, and it also has a flexible nib, but it's not a brush nib. It is it's a fiber brush nib, not a bristle brush nib is what I'm trying to say. And I'm just going to do the entire outside of the cat because I do want the cat part of this page to stand out. This is a cat hotel, and I think that part is important. And I just can't color a cat pink or anything like that. So my furnace is on, so I apologize if you're hearing that noise. How's everybody else doing with your are you having winter, or are you one of my southern hemisphere friends who is into summer right now? Summer's a long way off for us here in Canada. It has warmed up a little bit though, so I am happy about that. I don't enjoy driving in the winter, so if it's warmer out, that does help with the roads. That's how it's going to be, that color. All right, here is how the cat is looking, and clearly I need to do his tail. He's also wearing a party hat on the top of his head and a bow, so I've left those parts for now. I would like to do something fun with his tail, so I'm not quite sure what that's going to entail, but small joke there. Anyways, let's start off and do some of the festive stuff. We haven't done a lot of festive stuff so far, so let's pull out some greens and start doing the decorations on the top of this building. Just a reminder that we're working with 2 different color palettes, so I have quite a large variety of greens, from a very pale green to a deep dark green, so which is great. I have pulled a selection of Staedtler pigment pens and also some Pitt pens. I do have greens in the other ones, but I'm gonna just stick with these ones for now, and I'm going to use chromium opaque, and these are the darker pine type or holly leaves, so we'll do that. I'm not really sure what kind of leaves these are. If anybody has an idea, I'd love to know what it belongs to, so I can actually look up what that tree is supposed to look like, but it's okay. We'll just wing it for now. I have been doing a lot of browns in the other pictures and oranges. If I do want to add a little bit of sparkle on top of these ones, the leaves themselves, that'll be fine because these are pigment pens, so that is one nice advantage. I don't want to get the sparkle on the gray though, because that will make things run. I also have this Spectrum, and it's called mulled wine. And we're just gonna put it on these. It's a brownie red, but it does have a little bit of sparkle. Definitely comes out quite quickly, so I'm not squeezing at all. I feel like I haven't been using a lot of sparkle lately, so we may do something fun. I mean, he is wearing a hat, so, and a bow, so maybe we'll get those to be sparkly. Okay, I'm going to go and grab a lighter green. I'm just going to mix a couple of greens on my paper to see how they look together. That's quite bright. Okay, that one's okay. I think I'll use the 2 Staedtler. We have willow green and olive green, and what I think I'm going to do is do some olive green first, and then some willow green. So I'm going to start in the dark one and pull that out, and that'll kind of mix the colors a little bit. So again, that's the darker color on the bottom, and then draw the darker color out. And if I need it a little bit more darker, I can just go back, add a little bit more. Don't want to add too many layers because I don't want them to seep through, but as you can see so far, that's doing just fine. Okay, so there's some ways you can, if you want to add a little bit of color to the other ones, you can as well. There's a lot of leaves on here, so I'm going to work my way around this window. Sometimes I tap it with my finger to kind of blend it a little bit, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Okay, I'll be back when this area is complete. Okay, here we are back, and I have done quite a bit, so I thought I'd bring you back and up to speed, and then we would do some of this together. I have taken a gray Sakura glaze pen and done the door and the two top windows. So if you look at the top windows and the door, you'll notice a difference, and that's because on the bottom part I have done 2 coats of the glaze. So I've done the glaze the first time, and when you do glaze in a larger area, it can get a little patchy just because of how I'm doing it. So anyways, it ends up being a little patchy, which is fine if you are looking for that, but I wanted more of a solid, so I did another coat on top of the glaze after it was dry, and I get a more solid appearance. So I wanted to point that out. When you are using your glaze pens, you can let it dry and go over it again and get more of a solid color. So I probably will do that up top, but I'm going to leave them for now in case that look is good as well. I have come in and done a little bit of the red, and so that was from the Zig Clean, the Zig marker. I have done the berries, and I used the Spectrum Sparkle pen in mulled wine. Wasn't really super happy with it, so then I came in with the iridescent dimensional Mod Podge, and that has the iridescent glitter in it, and I put that on top of all of the berries so that it gave a little bit of shine. And I also put them on top of here, which was just a yellow pit pen. So this whole area is done with pit pen. This is Jelly Roll Green Metallic, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this gold and this gold, so I'm going to use some watercolors, and I thought we would do that together. For the rest of this light brown is actually my silver sparkle pen, and like I've mentioned before, my silver was never silver. It always came out this light tan brown, so I'm not sure what was up with that, but it actually, I thought, worked with the cat. So I did that also on the bottom, so inside the room, and then these little steps that the cat has inside, so that it's a little bit tied in with the outside as well. And then I used both the, as I showed you and we did together, the Staedtler. I used 2 Staedtler pigment pens to do all of the greenery. I still have this greenery over here, but I'll do that off camera. So yeah, this is, and I've used some red glaze down here. So this is how it's looking so far. I'm just trying to think about what I want the perfect, like the cat's head to be. I might do it again with the silver sparkle pen from Spectrum Noir, And yeah. And then for the tail, I haven't quite figured it out. I might do it in this, but it would be kind of fun to also have some, like it's all striped. So I don't know kind of how I want to do that. So that's where we are right now. I just thought I'd bring you back and show you where I'm at. I have done some of the zig pen here on the bow, and I'm going to bring in a sparkly red to do the rest. So I'm not sure that I have a really nice sparkly red metallic paint, but I will check that first. If not, then I have been enjoying quite a bit the Dollar Tree red gel pen, so I may use that. So let me grab my metallic paints and we will do a little bit of that. And I still haven't figured out what to do with these windows here. So let me grab my paints. Okay, I looked through my metallic paint, and I haven't used my Paul Rubens metallic paints. This is a 12 set, and it does have a nice red called red wine in it, and it does have a couple of different, this one's a royal gold and this one is a deep interference yellow. So I think that we'll go for the gold and the red wine. The red wine does kind of match with the crimson, so, and that's on both of the palettes, so I think that that's good. Gold is not on the palettes, but this is Christmas page, and gold always goes with Christmas. So I am going to also grab a small medium palette. It's actually the lid, and so I'm going to activate, and this is this one. So I'm just actually going to pull it out of the tray, and then I can activate them. I'm just going to put some water on them and get them going. We'll leave that to the side, and we'll pull our book back out. So I definitely want the gold here, and I was going to do gold here, but I might do red ribbons along here since I already have the yellow balls on there. I might go ahead and make those red, and then I'm also going to make this red here. So for the rest of the page, we will go ahead, while these are soaking and activating, I'll shake up my Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen. If you have these, you really do need to shake them up well in order for the mica inside to mix with the watercolor. And I'm going to go right over top of everything in here, and then I will come back and go over the lettering later. For the whiskers on the outside, I did use a black glaze pen by Sakura. This just goes on. This is a nylon brush, again with bristles, so this is not watercolor paper, so again, you don't want to spend a lot of time or a lot of water on this paper because you don't want to damage the paper and have it to start to pill. So just keep your brush moving. If it does need a second coat, wait for your page to dry and then do a second coat. So that's where I'm going to leave it. You can see that there is some sparkle inside there, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, I'll leave this dry before I come back and do a second coat, because I definitely, so this here has a second coat on it, but the head doesn't. All right, let's see how our paints are activating. I just got a couple of small paint brushes. Just mix the paint up. So again, this is the Paul Rubens metallic paint, and the color is wine red. I'm going to try and not go over the red area in this that I've already put down, because that is a water-based marker and it will reactivate. So luckily it is red, so if it bleeds out a little bit, that's okay. thank you to everybody who listed their favorite Christmas carol on my last video. Those were fun to read, and I actually went and listened to some of your suggestions. So thank you for that. Okay, gonna let that dry. We've also got this up here to do, so I'm actually going to make these stripes red. I think that would be fun to have metallic red stripes on the party hat. Doing this coat quite heavy so that it's a solid color. We'll let that dry. Scroll all the way to the bottom. I should mention that although I mentioned that cats are not my favorite animal, it's mainly because I'm actually allergic to them, and they make me quite wheezy, and yeah, so it's not that I don't think that they're adorable and cute. They just actually make me physically sick because I'm allergic to them. So I did cat sit for my son and daughter-in-law recently, and I did enjoy having the cat here, but yeah, lots of sneezing, lots of antihistamines for that little visit. Comment below in the if you have a cat, and what's your cat's name. It's kind of fun to always it's fun to read what people call their pets, and I enjoy reading about our fur family. So yeah, if you have a cat, give your cat a little shout out. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to wash my brush off, and then we will switch to gold for this area here. All right, back, and I'm mixing up the gold. I've switched to a little bit bigger of a paintbrush. This is still a round. This is a number 2. So this is supposed to be the royal gold. I may put this into the crossbars into the windows up top. We'll see. And I'm going to try and go around the number 21 because I'm putting this on heavier, so it should be a little bit opaque. I'm going to switch to my smaller paintbrush. Comment below if you get your pets a Christmas present, and if you do you put it under the tree, and do they actually open it? Or sometimes I have people give me a gift for my pet, and sometimes I would get them a treat or something like that. Otherwise, I don't get them like a bunch of gifts or anything, but I just wondered if you do. Now I've got this Christmas tree here. Okay, so I've slid the book up just so you can see, and I'm gonna put a gold band across here. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to dry. In the meantime, I'll might do this. Let's see if you can get into the screen. On the door there is a bow, and I'm going to do it in half gold and half red, I think. Okay, we're going to see how that looks. Bougie Cat Hotel. If you don't have any watercolor paints, not a problem. This could certainly be done with a gel pen. So if you have a gold gel pen, that's fine too. I like to just mix up my medium a bit and trying to use up some of my supplies for this year, and I think we're doing pretty good in that respect. Playing with things that I don't always use on a monthly basis has been fun. I like the idea of shopping my stash. So, you know, if you kind of getting into the feeling that, oh gee, I would like some new supplies, or this item looks really cool, I kind of look at my stuff and say, well, do I have something that's already similar to that I haven't been using for a while? And I will break that out instead of shopping for the next new thing. Shopping is fun, but yeah, I certainly have enough supplies here already that I probably will never be able to use up in my lifetime, so I would like to get as much. Look it again, putting my hand. Okay, I put my hand into the number 21 area, so let me fix that. Okay, I'll be more careful. Let me zoom you out. Okay, here we are zoomed out, and I do like the way that the gold is looking. So I am going to go ahead and make the hat gold. I think that would be good. I may I'm going to do a second coat, not I may, but I'm going to do a second coat over here to make the this area a little less patchy. Then once that's dried, I'm going to take the gold and put the gold on top of that. I still need to figure out what color to do the Cat Hotel banner, so but I am also trying not to put my hand in anything. So let me be back after I've done a few more items. Just wanted to bring you back and show you the sparkle and shine that is on this cat head. So the silver is quite sparkly, it's just not silver in color. So even though it's brown, yeah, so really like how that shines on the page. Just wanted to show you that. Okay, I'm gonna go and paint the hat with the gold, and I will be back. Okay, trying to think of the scalloped edge up here as well as this line across here. I've decided to go with the dark green, and that is going to be deep green number 44 in the Zig Clean color. And I haven't done a super dark green on here, and I'm kind of over doing some brown for now, so I'm going to take a break and I'm going to do the green, put it up here. I'm going to make sure I put down a scrap piece of paper so I don't get it everywhere. And then afterwards I will come in with a gray pencil and do some shading underneath this scalloped edge. So in case I don't do it on camera, I just thought I'd let you know that that is what I will be doing. This acts very much like a watercolor, so it doesn't leave a great deal of streaking, but even if there is some, it will be in the direction of the scallop, but it should be okay. These are a couple of years old, but they are still super juicy. I haven't ever actually had one run out on me. I'm sure that will at some point. I had first bought the Arteza water brush markers that are very much like this, and I was super disappointed in them. So I decided just to bite the bullet and buy the 60 set of these, and very happy. I bought a few open stock first at my local art store to test before buying a whole set. And I know that there's more colors out there, but I haven't used these enough to justify purchasing any extra. But I do enjoy them, and they do get into, I'm going to use them in my Korean coloring books that are have good paper for watercolor and stuff. So I'm going to use those there, and in 2025 we will be spending more time in my other books. So looking forward to some of my new series coming for next year. Okay, I'll be back once this is all done. I've decided to go with the deep green for the windows, and I also did around the top of the door as well. I was going to do this in brown, but I'm going to have enough brown with the cat, and then there's the cats on the inside of the building as well. And I will do the rest of the door in brown, but I decided to go with the deep green for around the windows. Okay, and I'll show you that there's no bleed through on the page. So that's pretty awesome. That is one really nice thing about water-based markers. Okay, I'll do this window and then we will get the darn tail done. I'm going to use my tiny paintbrush and do the number 21 in the red wine paint. And at this point the paint is very thick because it's been sitting drying out. So I will only need one coat. So I'm taking it directly from the pan now. So it's quite concentrated. Take a look at the rest of the page and make sure there's nothing that needs some touch up before I put the paint away. So let me zoom you out. All right, here's how our page is looking. For the cat hotel part, I think I'm going to do it in a slightly darker gray than the gray background. So I think I'm actually going to use the cool gray light in the Stedler, which is a little bit darker than the gray that I was using in the Zig Clean color. And hopefully that looks okay. And because it's quite transparent, I'm going to go right over the lettering again, and being careful when I get to the red that I don't go into the red, because the red will bleed, and that's the only problem with water-based items, is they will bleed into each other. So I try and have everything dry, so don't do wet and wet beside each other if at all possible, unless I am trying to blend. Okay, I did the gold writing for the Perfect Palace, and it blends in quite a bit, so you're still seeing mainly the cat head, and you'd have to look closer to see the Perfect Palace. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave it gold or not. It might need to be darker, but the cat hotel I used a brown glaze, and it's kind of a reddy brown, so it matched my color palette quite well. So that's how the top half is looking. I still need to come in with some gray, cool gray pencils and do the shading around the scalloped edge, so that is still to come. and scroll down here. I've decided to go with ready browns for this, so I have pulled out cinnamon 189 and sanguine 188 and Venetian red 190. So that three color combo will be the door, and I've just started lightly coated there. For the tail, I finally made a decision. It took me all this time to finally decide just to stay with the silver, and I did the silver so it's quite sparkly, and I'm going to shade with the three pencils that I'm also going to use on the door. So I have started that. I will lower the camera and we'll do a little bit together just so you know kind of where I'm going. Okay, with the camera adjusted, you can see I've started this bottom, and so what I'm doing is I'm shading with the lightest color, and I'm starting at the edge and just coming in a little bit, and that's just to help do a little bit of shading, and also to make sure that you know that this is a 3D kind of like it's supposed to be a tail. And then I'm also coming in with the darkest one, which is the Venetian red 190, and just doing a little bit at the very edge like that, and then coming back in with the lightest one and shading it in, just blending that in a bit, because I don't want a really just a slash line along that. I want it to kind of blend in. So I haven't really decided what to do with all these lines vertical going up. I mean, it kind of looked like it could be a candy cane or a Dr. Seuss kind of thing is what it originally made me think of, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do the shading first and see if it needs anything else. That's and I need to keep my pencils fairly sharp so that it blends and shades a little bit easier. Now when I bring in the polychromos, it does cover up the glitter, so what will end up happening is that the shaded areas won't be glittery, and the center part will be glittery because I'm not bringing my pencil all the way into the center. And I'm also going to do the underside. Now I've already come in earlier at the beginning of this video and done some shading underneath here with the dark gray, so if that needs to be enhanced or whatever, I can always come back with that. But for now I'm just going to be using the cinnamon and the Venetian red, and if I need the sanguine, I'll bring that in as well. But that's how that's going to look. Okay, I'll probably shade a little bit more on this side than on this side, but it just will depend. Just looking at this, and I really like this color combination here, the gold and the green and the red. I think that looks kind of good. This definitely has been the page that has had the most Christmassy decor on the outside of the building, so it's kind of been fun, and I'm glad that it was later on in the book as well. I think I would have been bored if we had been doing a lot of Christmas stuff so early on in the book, but it's definitely time now. We're well into December, so I'll do the other side, and that'll make this look a little better. So a little bit of that Venetian red, and then blend it in with the cinnamon. And when I get to the more narrow area, I'll be keeping my band of blending and color a lot smaller. So like these areas right here where we're getting a little bit narrower in the tail, I'll blend up less. But this is how it's looking. The iridescent three-dimensional, I mean, it definitely makes these bumpy here, but it's not really giving me any sparkle or anything because they are so small. So I definitely think that Mod Podge three-dimensional magic stuff, if you're going to use it, it is better in a larger bald area so that there's enough of the material that you can actually catch the light, because yeah, this is just going to be bumpy when I color future pages, and I don't think I'm really getting the sparkle from that. So I think something this small, you would be better off using stickles, because that's definitely a better bang for your buck for shininess. So just thought I'd let you know what I have kind of discovered as I use these products more and more in different situations. All right, I'll see you shortly with a completed tail. All right, here is the cat's tail all done. I think I'm just going to leave it for now and complete the rest of the page and then see if anything else needs to be done. I still can come back in, like I said, and do a little bit more shading around here with my grays for sure to give that some depth. I did go ahead and finish off this top area here, and I actually finally used my Signal White and was able to do some highlights on the glaze itself. So on these windows I am going to do a second coat of glaze, and then I am going to come in with some white highlights. So I'll make sure to do that. I shaded a little bit in this area with some grays, and I think that looks okay. I haven't decided if I'm going to come in with a black micron and redo the outlines of the bow. I'm not sure, or if I'll come in maybe with the red gel pen and do that. So maybe I'll try the gel pen right now with you, and if it doesn't look great, then I'll come back in after the gel pen is dried and go ahead with the black micron. But let's try the gel pen together and see how that looks. So that's a little bit nicer than redoing it with black, which is such a harsh color. And sometimes we like to get rid of the black lines. Sometimes I like to put them back in. But there. Okay. Just working on some final touches here and going around and doing some shading around the things. So I have shaded around this window, and I just want to show you that I've also done on these two portions, I've done another layer of the glaze, and then on this side, so maybe I'll shut the light off so you can see it better. So there's a definite difference. So if you're not happy with your glaze, let it dry and try again. And so yeah, I think that it looks just a little bit better. And once it's dry, I will come in with the white and I will put in the marks that the illustrator has already actually left for me. So I thank her for that, and I will put those back in. I've also shaded around the window. So there is that window compared to this one. So I haven't shaded or done a second coat. So basically this window is ready for me to come back in and shade. I have done a little bit of shading around the cat just to make sure that there's no white in between the gray and the brown. So I have come in and done a little bit of shading. So try and see if I can raise the camera just a little bit so you can see both of those there. I've raised the camera now and you can see both sides. So this no shading, this does have shading around it, plus the second coat of glaze. So that is the difference there, and you can see it just makes it a little bit more polished with some extra shading. So that's something that's just personal, and that's something that I do at the end when I'm getting close to being done. Now I do notice that I have done something here, which obviously I have put some water, probably had a drop of water fall onto the page, and it has made things run. So that is another issue with the water-based markers, if you drop some water on there. So I am going to take a dry tissue and a water brush, and I'm going to pick it up. So I'm just activating it and then basically sponging it up. So I'm not sure how that happened, but it doesn't surprise me. Okay, so these areas here sponged up nicely. This area here, I'm going to have to just wait for it to dry. And this will also soak through your page. I probably dripped some water on there from a paintbrush or something, so darn it all anyways. And I think that I am going to just leave the perfect place there in the gold. It kind of does blend in a little bit, so it's not super standing out, but it also makes the cat's head stand out more as a cat's head. So I think I'll just leave that. And I did come in and add some gold at this crossbar to make sure that you could actually see it. And I've done this in the cinnamon and sanguine colors. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave this page dry for a bit before I screw something else up, and then I will come back in and do this window. And that is a wrap. Here is our completed page. I bring you back to show you the actual completed page for a change, and this is how the page has turned out. I may do a little bit more shading here and there, but for the most part I think we're done. For the inside of the cat hotel, I used the Polychromos pencil in Ivory, which is 103, and then I came in with a light cool gray 2, and I did around the outside. I did the inside cats. This one is white and gray, this one is brown, and this one is actually done in the white pearl, because I wanted a white cat, but I wanted it to actually show up, so I did it in white pearl. For the slashes along here, I used the gray in between the slash marks, and then I used the white pearl and went over top of the black lines that were there, so you can still see them to some extent, but they also do some reflection. And for over here on the door, I deepened up some of the colors. I tried to make it look a little bit more wood grain like, so I added a bit more shading along there. So I'm happy with the door. The windows here are nice and reflective, and the white gel pen did stick to the window, so I'm happy about that. The only thing I'm not really sure about is the perfect place. It shows up, but it's not, it doesn't stand out. If I had done it in a black gel pen, it would have really stood out, which might be better, I'm not sure. So leave me a comment down below. Do you like this in the lettering in gold, or do you think that I should have done it in a darker color? But yeah, that's my completed page. Like the color palette, I think it turned out well. Again, the color palettes that I used were 2 from the Sarah Renee Clark box number 1. It was 168 and 183. And I think we stuck to it. I did add the gold to the color palette, but otherwise pretty sure that that's an excellent job of following it. All right, there's a little bit of white highlights on the tree here, but otherwise that's it. Next week or next video we will be doing this, the Nutcracker, day 22. We have 3 days left, so we are getting super close to the end of this project. I hope you are having fun. I will see you again next week or later this week for the Nutcracker. And until then, I hope you're having a creative and colorful week. If you have completed any pages, please email them to me at jicolourist@gmail.com. And otherwise, I will see you Friday for our next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.